well squared away here, getting ready to put in. Some of us, this might be the first time spending the night on the river, and certainly for all of us it's been a while. We are looking forward to heading out into those canyons. See what she's got.
And since it's fairly low water, none of them are going to be that big.
That's good to know.
There's one spot between...
We've been all up and down both sides of this stretch of river, but never straight down the center. It's neat to see the mouths of some of these canyons that we've traveled in.
Hi, sweetie.
The river is mellow and is a great opportunity to coach Chris, who's never taken a canoe down a river before, on how to go through heavier water. On the other hand, Bill's an old salt, and we learn from watching him.
Traditional river fare. Cold pizza.
Oh my God. That's so gross.
That's awesome. It is outstanding right there. That's so pop.
After lunch, we still have a lot of miles we're trying to go because we'd like to get off the river at a reasonable time on Sunday.
Yeah, so this canyon here is that one that you cross right by Loma.
Gotcha.
And then if you're doing the Cocopelli Trail, it comes around this knob here and then goes up that valley and hits the road and then goes into Rabbit Valley.
As the afternoon wears on, the wind comes up and we have to paddle in earnest to make headway. There's also more cloud cover and temperatures drop noticeably. Things take on a foreboding tone. We also start hitting bigger and bigger water and begin to wonder what Blackrock's, the only identified rapid on this whole stretch of river, is really going to look like. What we find is that the water isn't particularly big, but the rocks are, and there are all sorts of strange currents and boils to navigate through. We paddle out of Blackrock without mishap into the sunlight. It feels like redemption, with camp a very short distance away. There's a large pictograph panel in the alcove just across the river from us. The people who made it are on the other side of the river in 1,000 years. Still, they're our neighbors, and I drift off to sleep thinking about their lives.
They said it was going to be cloudy, like really cloudy this morning.
Well, it's supposed to chance of snow around 11 after. After 11, I should say.
I saw 11 p.m. in the evening.
Oh, was it PM?
We strike camp fairly quickly, still with the goal of trying to get off the river at a reasonable hour. So Chris's boat underwent a pretty big reconfiguration yesterday and then again today. Chris, what'd you change and why?
Well, I started off in the back bucket seat with all the weight forward, and I was just 2 bow high, and control was really hard, especially in the wind. Moved forward, sitting behind that center thwart on one of my dry bags, but that was just not secure, especially coming through the rapids that we hit. So now I'm going to try sitting on a tub with a cushion and hope I can reach the water with my paddle.
Right on. So my setup is basically unchanged, where I've got a lot of gear stowed forward, Connor pack lashed to that front seat, 300 blackout pistol and my ready box. I guess the only thing that we're really changing, it worked out great to have Haley in the back there and me in the center position, so either of us could paddle independently. Through the rapids, it would be one or the other of us in charge, but she had the hard seat yesterday, but she figured out that she can sit back into the very back and lean all the way back and relax, so we're going to give her the soft seat today. That was our only change up. So Scott's setup here might be undergoing the most radical change, not in terms of gear distribution, but in terms of seating position. Scott, what happened yesterday?
The screw hole busted out. This busted, so I no longer have a center seat. So basically, last night I cut it off. I'm now using my camp chair as a replacement, but since I'm worried about the camp chair sliding around, I'm basically bracing it. And I'm going to have 2 straps, which hopefully will be long enough, going back there and 2 here to kind of keep it from sliding back and forth as we're going down the river.
And Bill's setup. Bill, are you changing anything about how you're loaded today?
So I've got less, so we burned our firewood, stuff like that. Obviously, a lot of times when you pack up quickly, your stuff doesn't fold up as neatly, so the bags are a little bigger. So mainly, I'm just paying attention to trim. I need the nose to be right. I don't want to be nose down. So I've got everything kind of spread out.
And your deck worked great yesterday.
Yeah, I'll put that on here in a sec. So I've secured my gear mainly so it doesn't shift in any kind of, well, in even front to back. So, and I guess we're not going to flip here, but if we did, the heavy stuff will stay with the canoe, I hope.
Right on. We're all envious of this deck. It's a heck of a nice setup that Bill put together for himself.
So yeah, that was my first sewing project. So I kind of had to learn to sew and then make the cover. There's a couple of YouTube videos. Cliff Jacobson's Expedition Canoeing is a good book I think that most of the videos are based on. And so it turned out to work really well. It keeps all the water out of the canoe, even just paddling back and forth. No, no water's getting in the boat. So got splashed in the chest a time or 2 just from the rapids, but there again, nothing got in the boat. So
right on.
Nice for that. It's kind of like a windbreaker for your legs.
Sunday morning's river runs swift and sure with calm winds. It's a quick trip to takeout, and I pray that the deeper reality of the river's heartbeat grounds us all.